Right, good morning. Okay, welcome back. Right, first of all, thank you, Dave, for the plates all the way from Kansas in the USA. We really appreciate that. Each one of the plates on the wall here represents a friend, a viewer around the world, and a token of your esteem. So we very much appreciate that. Right, okay, today, FoXDaWG day 25. Time to start the bodywork. Now, first of all, the fender is here. The front fender, mudguard, call it what you like, stop crying. It's an American bike and I'll choose to call it a fender, but if you prefer to call it a mudguard, then the mudguard is here. Either way, it's here. Let's unbox it and show you what we got. Right, so what it is, as you can probably see, is a Harley-Davidson Fat Boy front fender from 98 right through till today. I think it fits any of them. And it gives me the one thing I wanted the most, which is that part. That ducktail bottom end to this front fender is going to match the ducktail on the rear, and that will hopefully carry the line through the bike. That's the intention anyway. Also, it gives me the right curvature for a 16-inch wheel and the right width there to go between those big wide glide forks. There's no use talking about it. Let's offer it up, see what it looks like. Right, that's exactly what I wanted. Absolutely bang on. Fat Boy front fender. It looks great, and also this little flare at the back picks up the ducktail at the rear, and that was what I was intending. I love it to bits, I really do. Now, if you're observant, you might notice that this line here isn't parallel with the lift or the ground. Effectively, it's a little bit lifted up. That's because the Dyna Wide Glide has 34-degree forks. They're leant out, they're kicked out a little bit more chopper style than all the other Harleys. Now, the Night Train, which is a soft-tail version of this, basically they are 32-degree rake, so they're a little bit more stood up. And the Fat Boy, from which this fender comes, or is designed to go to, that is 29-degree forks. They're quite stood up. So effectively that fender would be rotated down a little bit, which would give this as a flat line. The holes are drilled for 29-degree forks, these are 34. Not an issue though, I'll just dress them out a little bit with a round file, and then I can rotate it forward and get that line absolutely horizontal with the ground. So it looks right and everything hangs together. But where it is at the moment, I absolutely love it. Okay, it's in bare metal right now. I have a cunning plan, so let's show you what I'm going to do with it. Back on the bench. Right, the plan is to make a change of plan, and it goes a little bit like this. If you've been following a while, you know I've been saying I want to get it vinyl wrapped. It's all going to be vinyl wrapped, and you're going to see it, you're looking forward to it, I'm looking forward to it, and so on. I've had an idea. Something came to me because there's only 3 pieces of bodywork. I've just got 2 of these and a petrol tank, and that's it. And that really isn't enough to showcase vinyl wrapping on motorcycles, because it's a new thing. Vinyl wrapping bikes is getting bigger and bigger. And a company stepped up and said, can we vinyl wrap your bike for you? But we're doing it on a Harley, which has very minimal bodywork. So it's kind of not really the right bike for it. So I had an idea. If you remember the Street Fighter build, I didn't sign off the paintwork, did I? It still looks like this. And at that point, when I spoke to the guys on the phone, I said, what about the Street Fighter instead? And they just jumped on it. So absolutely. So the guys at the Vinyl Wrap company are now working on a design to vinyl wrap the Street Fighter for us instead. It isn't finished, as you know. We didn't sign off the paint and say it's done. I was waiting to see what I could come up with that I was going to do. Brilliant. That's the perfect solution. Now, vinyl wrapping is not just putting coloured sticky back plastic onto bodywork. Maybe 20 years ago. Oh my goodness, has it moved on. It is a completely different industry now, and the work that they can do is astonishing. So I've left a series of shots, side on, technical shots of the bike on email with the wrap company, and they're currently designing me a race paint job. So we're going to do a vinyl wrap on the Street Fighter instead, and it's not going to be a long project in the future. They're doing it now. Once the design is done and I get the pictures back and we're happy with it and we all agree, rip the bodywork off, run it up to them, drop it off for a week, and they'll do it. And when it comes back, we'll assemble it and you'll see the Street Fighter finished in its fantastic race paint livery. And I'm so looking forward to that. And I'm going to try and take the cameras and show a bit of vinyl wrap being done, even if we just show some of the work they can do to see and show you that it really has moved on and it's nothing like you expect it to be. It's completely new, it's a completely fresh concept, and it's utterly perfect for the Street Fighter build to sign it off after 3 years and make that bike my current masterpiece, if there ever is such a thing. Right, so what that has thrown up, now we're not going to wrap this what it's thrown up is what am I going to do now with this? Well, I've come up with a cunning idea. I've seen it done on CVO bikes and I want to have a go and see if I can do it on this. It's unique and interesting, it's unusual. I've never seen it on the road, I've only seen it on custom CVO bikes in the dealership, and it looks great. Whether I can do it or not, well, that's another matter. So I'm going to get some bits and pieces and tools out and some scrap. I'm going to have a little play with it. If I can make the effect that I want on this bare metal, then I'm going to go with that. Let's see if it works. Wish me luck. I guess you can see the intention there. Try and make swirl patterns in the steel and then clear coat that in. But just use it as a panel down the centre, not the whole thing obviously, because that look a bit weird. But that's the intention. It takes a lot of practice. I've been doing this nearly an hour to get that technique right, because it kind of, probably see it on engineered finishes where it's completely flat and you use a proper grinder to do it and it's all perfectly uniform and razor sharp curves. We obviously can't do that on a curve with a spongy back sander, but you can make nicely swirl patterns, and I've seen it done, as I said, on CVO bikes, and it isn't much different to that. I just want to practice that a bit longer, then have a go at that top section down the middle of the fender and see if I can then paint the sides in black and then clear coat the whole thing. Who knows? If it looks rubbish when it's all done, I can just flat it down and paint it a colour or something. But I've got to try this, because that's pretty cool. Right, you can get the general idea. Different, something unique, and I'll paint the sides in black and then clear coat the whole thing to protect it. I've got to paint the inside with tough black just to give it a stone chip resistance, because that is a stone chip paint, so that'll do the job. I've got loads of it. I've got to paint the inside today. But I just wanted to experiment with this, had it in my head all week. Is it going to work? Then getting the pattern as abstract as possible is the key, so there are no obvious marks. You're definitely not going to get nice uniform swirls all in a row like a stack of coins, not on an outside curve with a flat sander. It just kind of moves about, but I think that I like that. That works. Different. Right, going to go over it again, finish it off, give it little finishing touches, then clean it and get a coat paint on it today. Right, okay, wherever this goes from here, wherever that sort of effect, pattern effect goes, whether I stick with that or not, I don't know. I'm going to give myself 48 hours on it and decide. And in the meantime, that's got to be painted on the inside. Before I do anything else, that's got to be protected. It's bare metal, bare sheet metal, mild steel, and that's not going to last 2 minutes as it is. It's got to have a proper protective layer over the inside. And there are products available, but I've got loads of this tough paint in stock, and it is exactly what this is formulated for. It's a soft, resilient stone chip paint for crash bars, bumpers and whatever, and that's exactly perfect for inside there. And I'll get 6 wet coats in there, and then I'll just have to walk away and let that dry for 48 hours before I can do anything else. Then I can spin it over, lay it down on the blocks and start masking. I've got to get some clear coat, that's on order, it hasn't arrived yet, and then see if that looks any good. Even when it's clear coated, if I change my mind and don't like it, I can just flat it back and put some regular paint over it. There's a couple of colours I like, but I just wanted to do something adventurous, more as an experiment than anything else. When I put it on the bike, if it looks a bit rubbish and I don't like it, then I'll just paint over it. It's not an issue, lad. It'll just be undercoat. There we are, and that'll be good scuffage for a key. And that's the other thing, if you're going to paint a clear coat over that, that's really nicely scuffed, so that will last, it will stay on there. He hoped. Right, there we are, 6 wet coats of tough paint on the inside, and that'll be it for today. Right, there we go. That is it. That is practically a whole can of paint in there now, and I've kind of got to stop because it's starting to move around. Put so much in, but that's important because I want to thicken it right up. So I'm going to stop there. There's about, in reality, about 2/3 of a can of paint in there, and that will dry nice and thick, but it will take a hell of a long time, probably 48 hours before that's really stable. And you can't recoat this stuff. If you read the instructions, and I've done it myself as well, if you recoat it too quickly while it's in the process of curing, it will just lifts up like paint stripper. So I've got to walk away now, do nothing more with that, but just leave it alone. Now, once that's done, once that's dried off, and I can start mauling it around again, I can decide whether I'm going to keep that mottled, scuffed finish or not. I think I like it at the moment, but these things are subject to change. And then if I do, whichever way, I've got the tank and the rear fender as well to strip the paint off. Now I've got some paint stripper, I'm going to use a chemical stripper on that just to get it all off back to bare metal, because I don't want to be putting abrasives in there and start taking away the thickness of the metal. Even on the tank, which I know is 1 millimeter and a bit thick, they're a super thick tank, more than any Japanese bike, but I just want to use a chemical stripper, get it all off, get it to that, and then have a little go whether I can do that scuff finish maybe on the sides of the tank and then black on the top. This is going to get painted on the sides, around the front and rear lip, just to seal it in. So that scuff finish, that will be a panel, like a circular or an oval panel in the middle. It will just show through, and then clear lacquer, clear coat the whole thing all over, so it's nice and stable underneath there and protected. But anyway, all I can do with this is put it to one side and do some clearing up. Awesome. Cool, that's it. Index for today, can't do any more. I'm probably going to have to leave that for about 72 hours to actually cure, because it's so thick, and if you overcoat that stuff with anything, even more of itself, before it's cured, it just lifts up like paint stripper. So I've got to leave it and be patient. It's going to have some clear coat over it, obviously, because it's bare metal on the other side, and I love that, the bare metal scuffed finish. Saw it on a CVO bike, looked at it, thought how hard can it be, I'll do that one day, and that was years ago I saw it, so just trying it out now. And how hard? Well, not difficult at all. It's just practice, again, the little scuffs right and in the right direction and right order, so it all looks uniform and a nice job. Now, if I've finished it and it looks a bit pants, then I'll just sand it all down and put a colour over it. It doesn't really matter, it's nothing to lose whatsoever. It's experimental, I'm teaching myself something completely new that I've seen others do, and I love it, it's the right way to go. Now that's the mudguard done, fender, whatever you want to call it. The next thing's going to be the tank. I'm going to strip the paint off the tank and do the sides with the scuffage. And once they're done, then I'll paint the top and the underneath in black. So it'll be the sides that are the key piece, and then a nice Harley badge over the top of that, and the whole lot clear coated in, look absolutely superb. And finally, the rear mudguard stroke / fender as well, and then that will have the same top piece, the same with the front. Hopefully the theme carry right through the bike, look really nice when it's done. Anyway, that's a lot of chat. You've seen that so far. This is a midweek one, so I'm going to leave that now. It's a slightly shorter video, sorry about that. I've got stuff to do this afternoon, but I will leave it there. I'll update the board. Thank you for watching. Take it easy, ride safe. I'll see you next time.